Welcome back to Deltarune Theory Review. Another very special episode. I like how I've had more episodes now that I've had guests than I haven't. But I feel like I kind of like that. It kind of adds to the dynamic a little bit. Let me actually put on the lo-fi music.
Hello. I'm
Hello,
Nathan.
this is Nathan. So Nathan has played Deltarune, but it was recently, right? You played it when 3 and 4 came out, so you didn't really
Yeah.
get that experience of all of the
Well, I played chapters 1 and 2 around when 2 came out.
Oh, you did.
But I wasn't paying attention.
You were just kind of goofing around,
So
yeah,
I
because it was
basically
funny
played
Undertale
it for the
sequel.
first time when 3 and 4 happened.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, a lot of people when 1 and 2 were a thing thought it was just like another Undertale, and they were all trying to connect it to Undertale. But anyway, so before we start, a good chunk of this is actually going to be me talking to Nathan a bit about the general theory space, because most of what I do on YouTube now is I just watch Deltarune theory videos, and there's a certain community. There's like a good handful of creators who all do different theories and all have their own style and their own like theories, and it's almost like its own little YouTube, like just for Deltarune theories. And I've been really, that's like my favorite thing to do on YouTube. And there's a lot of theories that have come out of that like space that people may not have heard of, or you may have heard of if you're very deep into like the theory. Whatever, I'm rambling, but anyway. So I want to ask you a few things.
But
A few-
so
a f-
I hope that I'll be like the perfect example of like in the middle of like
Yes.
all Deltarune fan.
I think you will because
Who knows a little bit, but not all of it.
yeah, which is actually a rare breed. I feel like a lot of people like are very intense with all the theory crafting and stuff, which is kind of how I am. But I don't know. It's good to have different perspectives. I think the meaty junkies are more fall into your category of just kind of hanging out, enjoying the game for what it is, which is good. Sometimes I do wish I could enjoy it that way, just enjoy the game. But like it's always on my mind constantly, and I can't stop thinking about it. So here we are. But anyway, whoa, I got a text message. Okay, so first question I'm gonna ask you: who do you think the identity of the Roaring Knight is?
Oh, I mean, I feel like it's easy to say that it's Des, but I feel like Toby Fox should like purposely make it look like it's one thing just to troll people.
Okay,
I don't know.
that actually does prove a deeper I feel like the normal casual Deltarune player wouldn't even know who Des is. So I really do appreciate that. So Des Knight is. I definitely think Des Knight is the most. I was a big Carol Knight guy when I first played. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was big in that camp, but like lately, it just feels like
There's like evidence that Carol isn't the knight. Like,
yes.
I haven't seen very much evidence for that Des isn't the knight, but I have seen evidence for Carol.
I have too. I
That's how
think
do it.
to your point about how Toby likes I think that if more so that Carol is the red herring, and Carol is like the fake one that we're supposed to be kind of avoiding, and
Yeah.
and then
Double
Des,
red herring.
yeah, and then Des is the real Roaring Knight. But there is another Roaring Knight theory that is not as talked about. That has like a famous YouTube video to go with it, but I found a Reddit post that talks about it more. But we'll get into that later. But that is one that I think is actually the most plausible in a strange way. But at any rate,
Papyrus.
always bet on Papyrus Knight. No, it's not Papyrus Knight. I've actually never dove too deep into the Papyrus Knight theory space.
It's mostly a meme, I think.
I think it is mostly a meme, but I think the only evidence they have is that just he hasn't done anything, so they're trying to give him something to do. But by that regard, I mean, couldn't Gaster be the knight?
Yeah.
And all of his greenness, all of his green self, that he's green because he's green. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the knight is not green. I think that settles it.
Also, I want to give. Oh yeah, that is true. That is a very good point. I want to give a shout out. Did you watch my Green Gaster video? I think I asked that, but I forgot your answer already.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Watch them all.
Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, very, very, very good. I'm very flattered. Anyway, my sister Grace, who is also another brilliant Deltarune thinker, and she comes up with some interesting theories. I sort of take credit for it because I trained her in it, but she's also brilliant. She says, this is kind of funny, but also could be true. Sand says that we're going to hang out with his brother. He never said it was Papyrus, and we never confirmed that Gaster couldn't be his brother.
Yeah. We also didn't confirm that Gaster is like not his cousin. I don't know.
That's
It's one of
true.
those things like, yeah, technically, but like
Yeah.
Gaster also hasn't been confirmed to be his best friend or not. So maybe it's just his best friend.
Yeah, it just lives with him and is also a skeleton. I don't know.
I think like that's funny, but like
It is funny, but I mean, yeah, she comes up with these very strange, like, otherworldly theories that are just really fun to like look at and enjoy. But I would really like to imagine, like, he's like, all right, my brother's finally ready for you to hang out, and it's just Gaster, like, and everyone's like, what the heck? All that build up for this? Yeah, so I definitely do think, because there's a lot of debate about this too, but I'm pretty sure that Gaster is the mystery man from Undertale who's behind the monochrome door, and I also think that Gaster is the one talking to us like throughout the game. Obviously, like the I don't know what you call like the device, blah blah blah, whatever. But that does raise some questions though. It's like, if he is related to this Hands and Papyrus, then where does that fall into like everything else, you know? And everything else about his character, because if he is this ethereal being who like made Deltarune, then how is he related to Sans and Papyrus?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, there's a chance he lived in Undertale and created Deltarune, and Sans like is the only one who is like able to understand that happens.
That is a good idea. I do think, because in entry 17 it says that Gaster fell into his creation, and people think, oh, it's probably a dark world. I think that it could be. There's no reason that it couldn't be Deltarune, you know.
Yeah.
Like maybe near the end of the game we'll see Gaster, like his physical self, get transported into the game, you know, from his weird ethereal space, and he's like, oh, I'm here now, and that's where like that mystery man sprite and an image underscore friend is his pet cat or something, which I think would be pretty cool. So yeah, that's yeah, so that's that stuff. So that's your Gaster, that's your Knight opinions. What else? I'm trying to think about what else people should know about you in Deltarune. Well, you successfully completed a no-hit run. I should say that is your claim to fame. I should have told you this before because this might have helped, but I downloaded a mod. I searched for a long time and found a mod that makes me able to do no-hit runs without having to restart every time, which is very nice. I'm planning on live streaming that at some point after all this. I have a lot of stuff to do for school, but after all that, I'm gonna live stream the true no-hit run that I created, like the beast that I created that I never successfully vanquished. So I'm excited for that. But at any rate, that's to look forward to in the future. Okay, what about the last thing we'll talk about before we hop into some of these silly theories I found are, what do you think about Chapter 5? What do you think is gonna happen in Chapter 5?
I think that whether or not there's two dark worlds, I think one of them has to be Flower King.
Okay.
And like, I think that when I heard about like Woody Theory, I was wondering like where that could be.
Oh yes.
Funny if it like somehow ended up in that TV and chapter.
Dude, when I saw that Woody Theory was deconfirmed, and then the guy who made the original Woody Theory made his Neo Woody Theory, or I think it was, or Woody Theory 2 or something, I was like, yes. So I definitely think that, what? Yeah, it's back. It is definitely back. I actually think, because you take all the evidence that we already have for Woody Theory for Chapter 3, and most of it still stands, and then just apply it to Chapter 5 with the new stuff we learned, it makes even more sense, you know?
Yeah, and once Chapter 5 comes out, it'll be disproven, and then we'll just have to wait for Chapter 6, and it'll come out again.
And then the final boss of Deltarune...
It'll finally happen.
Yeah, the final boss of Deltarune is going to be Woody, and we're going to hear Penumbra Phantasm, and then Woody, it's going to be Woody Remix, and it's going to be great.
No, DLC Chapter 8 is going to be Woody Theory.
That's going to go hard. I actually think it would be neat if after the game's over, Toby did a DLC like years later that was like Chapter 0, and it told the story of like how Des went missing or something, and then you had to experience it. I thought that'd be kind of cool, but also sort of cheesy. I don't know, but you never know. Maybe it could be cool. Maybe Toby could pull it off in a way that's satisfying and interesting. I mean, the game is only $25, so I feel like already that's such a steal, you know. It's crazy. It's crazy how like, well, whatever. That's a topic for a podcast, not for a Deltarune Theory. Okay, and now that you can't hear the music, but it just changed to A Dark Zone. So I think with that, we're gonna transition over to our theories. So we talked about. Wait, I gotta share my screen.
I
You
want to see them.
can see the theories. That was loud. Let me. Oh, this
Ooh,
is.
and
The,
I can hear the music too.
oh, you can. Very cool. This is a good song. Anyway, this is my personal favorite night theory.
Rudy Night. Yeah,
Which
I've
is-
heard about that one. I never looked into it.
Yeah. So
I have a lot to learn here.
you have a lot to learn here. There is a really popular YouTube video that goes into more detail on this, but like every time I listen to that video, I'm just like, this has to be it. Unironically, this makes so much sense. So I think here they just compiled all the evidence. To start this theory, we need to know the theme of Deltarune, escapism. Have you heard about this? Do you know what that means?
Not exactly.
So there's
I
a
know it's like freedom is escaping, and that's
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. That actually is true. I never actually thought about that. But escapism basically is like, escaping your life and going into fiction to, playing video games or reading books to escape from your wretched, horrible life, basically. And people, I don't know, I've always felt many different ways about this, but there's a big belief that, like, that's Deltarune's main theme. And, like, the dark worlds represent, like, going into fiction and escaping, like, the horrible world of hometown, basically. Even though I don't think it's that bad, but whatever. Anyway. This bleeds into how the Dark Worlds work to the characterization of people such as Susie. I believe that the theme makes Death's Night impossible, because most require her to not be conscious of it or fully being her. Right, because, like, there's a theory that, like, it's like a weird amalgamation of Death's memory or something like that.
Yeah.
But who would use Dark Worlds as escapism, have antlers, and masses of evidence? Rudy! Before you comment, hear me out. So this was actually...
Stuck in the hospital, so maybe, like, the night's how he gets his escape.
Yeah, he escapes from the hospital to be the Roaring Knight. Yeah, that's what he's trying to escape from. So that's already a good point. Okay, so here's the evidence. I want you to hear this. The 3 Dark Worlds were either next to the hospital where Rudy was last seen. The school is only 2 houses down. Library is 2 houses down, and he was at the church, even when sick. I believe. Oh, that is true. Like, he was faking not faking, but he was, like, sick, basically, for so long. But then I was like, oh, he just happens to be at the church, And I feel like he did that to show that, like, so Toby could show, like, hey, like, this guy can get to the church, so he could be the knight. Just because he's bedridden doesn't mean he can't get around. So he could have potentially had the ability to get up from his hospital bed, and go to the church, basically. If Noelle doesn't introduce Susie to Rudy, he'll act more distant towards her. Oh, let me think about this. I don't remember this. Yeah, there's so much Rudy dialogue, and it all kind of blends together in my brain. But I guess that if...
I've
Wait,
seen, like, half of it, but I
Let's
didn't
see.
Like, go out of my way to, like, min-max the Rudy dialogue.
me neither. He's cool, though. He's an interesting character. Okay, let's see. If you don't introduce... He's like, you want to talk about something? And your friend here. Oh, so yeah, he doesn't really, like, understand. Okay, I get it. So I guess that... I don't know how that's a link to him being the Roaring Knight, but sure, let's just go with that. He's in a hospital bed. He was able to make it to church, and the Roaring Knight floats, alleviating that. So, even though he's sick, he could just float to avoid the sickness. Okay.
I guess that makes sense.
That is kind of silly. There's some more here that, like, they didn't say, but anyway. The knight's breathing sounds labored, and I think that's supposed to say hoarse. Like, he is sick.
Yeah, I do notice most of these, like, Reddit things are typed up. And
I know. Well, that's what I love.
They're so coherent, but they just...
Yeah. Did you, I don't know if you watch this because it's kind of obscure, but it's on Hunter's channel, where we read a really badly written Harry Potter fan fiction.
No, I didn't watch that.
Oh, it was brilliant.
I hear you guys talking about it, but I
Oh, it was brilliant. It was so we just finished it today. It's definitely for mature audiences, but it is quite the interesting tale. Okay. Yeah, so the labored breathing, that was the thing that I always thought. Like, I guess that could still be Des because she's definitely altered in some way, but it doesn't. It makes sense to be Rudy because he's sick.
More,
Yeah.
It's more related to someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Asgore's Black Shard dialogue mentions an old friend and is only shown having true friendship with Rudy, and not Carolinas. That I never heard that before, but do you know about the Black Shard dialogue with Asgore?
Yeah, I saw it. When
Yeah.
He was like, here's the Black Shard, and I'm like, what are you
Yeah,
talking
why does he
about?
have one? That's a whole different rabbit hole that I haven't really gone down
So
because
he got it from Rudy because they're friends?
Yes. that's the idea. Like, if Rudy's the knight, he, and at first I was, because when I first saw that dialogue, I was still on the Carol Knight, train, and I was like, oh, since like he's working with Carol basically with like the whole flower shop stuff, and they're kind of working together, it makes sense that Carol gave him a black shard, which I do think it is more likely. Wait, sorry, continue.
I was just saying, yeah, like some of the Carol thing else makes sense because like Rudy could be at the holiday house, and that's how he gets it at the holiday house.
Yeah.
I feel like because of this, like the knight has to be someone from the holiday house.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why it's got to be, but like the horns and stuff. But I personally think that like having like using a character's appearance to like try to figure out their identity isn't very good. I even a big like. Even though I am leaning more towards Destiny, I'm a big like believer against the whole like that the sword looks like a baseball bat thing. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think it's just like it could just be anything, but
yeah,
it does kind of look like the bat in Dess's room.
It does. I mean, it does look like a bat, but the bat in Dess's room is also shaped differently for one thing, and for another thing, like it's so ambiguous that it could literally be anything, and I feel like if Des wasn't a thing, and if people weren't thinking about Des, then they wouldn't be like, oh, it's a baseball bat, you know what I mean? But I think that since Des is a thing, people are like, oh, it's definitely a baseball bat, it's gotta be, because it's Des. So I don't know. I mean, I still believe Des is the knight, but that's kind of shaky evidence to me. And that, like, when the knight transforms into a ball, people were like, oh, it's a baseball. Like, I don't know. It could literally be anything. It's a circle. Everyone's like, oh, baseball. It's Des. Anyway. The Roaring Knight's rib cage gets exposed, and Rudy's illness is in his lungs. I actually like this one. So when it goes like the and it has a little I think people haven't talked about this, but I think that like that thing in its chest is like why Rudy is sick in the real world, is because like he's the knight and he has this weird like thing in him that makes him be the knight. And, like, that's making him, quote-unquote, sick, and why he's in his hospital bed.
Yeah, I am noticing all of, like, the sick, like, everything relating to sickness does, like,
yeah.
to Rudy more than anything else.
Yeah, because, like, so the next thing here talks about that more, but another thing, too, is that, like, we talk about how if Carol was a knight, her reason for being a knight would be looking for Des, opening Dark Worlds to find Des, and Asgore is looking for Des, but Rudy, who also, and Noelle wants to find Des, but Rudy, who is in the family, doesn't really talk about Des at all. Kind of, and to me, that feels like it's trying to make us not think of him as someone who is looking for Des, even though he probably is looking for Des the most out of all of them, because if he is the Roaring Knight, then I think that would make sense, you know what I mean? And, like, he really is looking for Des, because it wouldn't make sense for him not to want to find her, Whatever. I got kind of rambly, but yeah. The knight's presence is linked with sickness. In the fight, most of the hover text mentions feeling sick. Your chest felt twisted, and your breath speeds you up. Both having to do with, I'm assuming, sickness. I didn't finish the sentence, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure that another text tonight was like something about like a migraine coming on.
Yeah. Which is just, I mean, that's just weird anyway. And of course all the image.
Tempest, but that has nothing to do with sick, really. But I don't know. Those are like.
It kind of. I mean, I guess it kind of could, like a headache. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's some kind of strange like sickness that's kind of floats above the idea of what being sick is. It's like this weird amalgamation, whatever. Rudy and the Knight share a smug personality. I actually do. So what's really funny to me is that like a thing against Carol Knight is that like there's like a single like line of throwaway text in chapter 1 that says like, oh, the mayor gets a lot done, or like the mayor doesn't have a lot of aura, but she still gets a lot done. And everyone was like, Carol can't be the knight because the knight has unlimited aura. Like that just makes sense.
Yeah, or maybe the knight just gives anyone, no matter how lame they are, just infinite aura powers.
Yeah, or maybe that's what Gasser does. Like the holes in the hands, obviously, stuff. Which, by the way, I mean, I don't know if you thought about it, because I don't know how you were thinking about it when you started playing the game, but when I saw that the knight had holes in his hands, that made me lose my mind even more. Do you know why that?
I did not care when that.
Yeah. Because as someone who's been searching for Gaster for years, like seeing holes in the hands, because that's like a soft confirmation that mystery man sprite that we've been thinking might be Gaster. Like 99% sure that it is Gaster, you know? I just think that's cool. And then this one is really interesting to me. I never thought about this. I don't even know if this was in the other video, but if Des was the knight, who's the voice in the code? Do you know about the voice in the code?
I know that like everyone thinks it's Des.
Yeah.
I haven't like seen what makes it a voice or anything.
So yeah, this is a horrible picture that you can't... Oh my gosh, it was taking on a potato or something. But it's like there's like a bunch of dialogue in the code that's like, so like, oh, it's unused, even though it's clearly supposed to be like found. And it's like someone saying that they're like, oh, I feel like this is all dark and it's all like quiet, and it's like I feel lonely and scared and cold, but every now and then I hear scratching, you know, and variations on that as the chapters go on. And I think that is Des. I think that Des went missing, and yeah.
I guess it makes sense that it can't be both of them. Like they can't both be Des.
Right? Yeah, Des can't be the knight and that. Well, that's why people are saying that, like, oh, then the knight is probably like a weird amalgamation of Des's memory or something. But I think that gets too complicated. I think that it's just a, like, I think it's just freaking, that's whatever. You know what I mean? Also, can I just say, this subreddit was created the day Deltarune came out. That's pretty cool. Which, by the way, is coming up, if you didn't know. It's coming up in 2 days. Also, that's Halloween. Yeah. Also, I'm going as Spamton for Halloween, and I'll post a post on my YouTube so everyone can see.
That's cool.
I got face paint. I got the whole... Also, back to the Rudy stuff. Like, if Rudy is the knight, like, just look at this image. It goes so hard. I really want Rudy to be the knight, because it just...
I guess, I mean, him being sick could also, like, give him the right body shape, like, more, like, shriveled. I guess.
Oh, true. Like how the knight's kind of skeletal, you know? Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, that would make sense. I also saw something funny where it was like, you know how the knight, like when it takes Undyne, it kind of goes like that weird, like fluttery, like fabric-looking thing. People were like, "Oh, it's his hospital gown." No, I don't know about that. And, like, I feel like the knight could just manipulate like the way things look.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, like, in the Dark World, there's not very many limits, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. Anyway, so that was that one. I'm gonna keep it open so I don't, because last time I deleted all of them, I had to relook them all up to copy them into the description of my episode. Okay. This is interesting to me. I'm gonna have to explain some of these things. I don't know if you know about Spamton Sweepstakes, but Chapter 5 will be the last normal chapter, and the last chapter that follows the prophecy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense because he did plan on doing 3, 4, and 5 all in one go.
Yeah.
That means there's something that makes them all common.
That actually is like, what I was thinking too, yeah.
Like 1's the tutorial, 2 is in between the 3, 4, and 5, and 3, 4, and 5 are like major story development.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the end of Chapter 5 is going to shake the world. I think something's going to happen that completely revolutionizes Deltarune theory crafting, because we're kind of in a drought right now. Like, this, in between 4 and 5 space, there's really nothing much to go on, because we basically know what the next Dark World is. We know so much, and there's nothing really that's ambiguous. But I think that at the end of Chapter 5, it's going to launch the fan base into a mad hit frenzy, you know? And we're gonna friggin' have a lot to think about. Anyway.
Oh yeah, and looking at the Gerson dialogue, yeah, that makes sense since like he stops talking about the chapters after Chapter 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like the first 5 are the most concrete, and then after that it gets kind of strange. I think that Chapter 6 is like gonna feel like the finale, but then Gaster's gonna come in and be like, it's actually not the ending, and there's actually Chapter 7 is gonna be something crazy and different. Whatever. And anyway. So in the Spamton Sweepstakes, there was this like, and this, okay, this is a lot to explain. But do you know about this?
I know about the image. Yeah,
and you know about this image.
Invisible. Yeah, I know 3's invisible.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Highlighted.
Yeah. So people think this was like
the
weird route or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the magnitude of the weird route. I mean, I think it makes sense.
I guess it does. I guess actually.
Not at all in Chapter 1, and in Chapter 2, it's real big. Chapter 3, it's hidden.
Yeah, it's hidden, but it is important. Yeah.
But like it's all like retold in the.
Yeah, you're right.
Route, and
And in chapter 4 there was a little bit.
Chapter 4 is minor, and then chapter 5 it might like
Ooh, I wonder.
there might be some sort of change there.
But then actually when it's like, what I think is that chapter 5 is going to be the end, and then like the weird route or something is going to be what like continues the story or something, or maybe the other way around. Maybe the weird route ends in chapter 5, and then like doing it the normal way is what continues the story.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
From a gameplay perspective, I don't think the weird route is the only way to get through something.
I agree. I don't think he'd lock content behind the weird route.
By playing the game normally, you should be able to make it to the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is true because like people, I see a lot of people online who are like, I refuse to do the weird route. Like I will never do the weird route. Like it's too sad and creepy and gross, which is kind of like.
Yeah, and I think he does that on purpose.
Yeah, I agree.
There has to be like a deeper meaning to the weird route than just like that's how you beat the game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think. Whoa, voice crack. I think that the ending is gonna be very sad, and someone's gonna die, and the weird route is how you prevent that from happening, but then it just happens anyway because the prophecy always just does it anyway, and that's it. That's what I think. It's very boring, very basic.
I think the weird route won't make sense until the game's completely done, and when you get the regular ending, like suddenly it like becomes clear why you would attempt a weird route.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be something like either Noelle dies or Susie dies, and then like you're making Noelle stronger so that she can like defend Susie or like herself from whatever kills them. You know, that's what or something. That's where the whole Noelle gets hit by a car thing came from. And I wrote down on my theory. I don't know if I sent you a picture of it because I didn't think you were into Deltarune back then, but I made, for my siblings and I had a big party for 3 and 4, and we like put up like pink and yellow balloons in our basement and stuff.
You showed me that.
I did, yeah. And we had a theory board. Did I show you that theory board?
Yeah.
And like none of them came true.
It was just like a big. Yeah.
But one of them,
None of these come true. What if we're completely confused?
I do wonder that. It's like we were.
I do think like half, or I don't know how many there are, but like half of like the major ones might come true. Just because 5 was intended to be released alongside 3 and 4. So
Yeah.
It wasn't trying to be like so like cryptic about what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think that's why it's so obvious with the next. Like the prophecy literally has Asgore in it as the next boss, and like it kind of just because he wasn't, whatever. But I do think that it is interesting that this cuts off, and it doesn't talk about the rest because I'm wondering what kind of like I wonder what kind of theories will come from trying to predict what 6 and 7 could be. Whatever. And that's it. He's just talking about stuff. More Gerson dialogue. Oh yeah, wait. This guy's talking about what, like, I was saying, like, chapter 6 and 7 are gonna go crazy off the rails and be like really crazy and. Oh wait. Oh, I just closed one. Chapter 6 is the roaring, and chapter 7 is Gaster stuff. What do you think about that? I kind of like that.
I do think that it's gonna be one of those things where like maybe in chapter 6 they like lose, and then like there's a chance that chapter 7's like mending whatever happened.
Yeah, I think.
Maybe like Avengers style.
Do you want to know what I think? I kind of had this idea before, but I just realized I haven't thought about it in the context of the new chapters, but it still makes sense. I think that the end of chapter 5 that is going to shake the world is going to be the roaring. Like, it
literally will shake the world.
Yeah, haha. The world will crack with fear. Like, I think it's possible, The Roaring Knight could go crazy during the festival and go pew 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 everywhere and make the roaring happen, and then, like, we're going to get to see what that looks like, and then, like, they're all gonna be like, whoa, it gets whoa, and they fall into like the roaring or whatever. And then like then chapter 6 starts, and it's like way different. Although Toby did say that someone was already starting on the bullet patterns for chapter 6, which makes me think that it's gonna be more similar to the other chapters that we think, because I thought that was gonna like their formula was gonna completely change, but I guess it probably probably won't.
I personally like the gameplay, so I mean, you don't have to change it too much.
No, I agree. No, I think that the formula is really good.
I hope bullet patterns are still a thing.
Yeah, I know. I want to do a full all 7 chapters no hit run. That would be crazy. But yeah,
I feel like something's gonna be way too hard in the last 3.
I do too. Like there's gonna be like a Sans thing. That's kind of why I want to do it, because I want to like I want to show all my love for this game, and I want to complete it in the perfect way. Because it's like my favoriteest game ever. Okay. This is
my number 2 game.
Behind what? Are you dead?
Silk Song.
Oh, Silk Song, really?
Wait, sorry. Yeah, Silk Song.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, Silk Song is definitely up there for me. Definitely top 5. I might. Okay. Ooh, the creepy music right when we get to image_friend stuff. Let's see all this. You know about this guy, right? Image_friend.
Yeah, he's the. I mean, his first appearance is like when Rousey's talking, and then no, apparently he's there. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I know he's got some sort of like deeper meaning because he just keeps showing up, and I don't know why.
Yeah. No one really knows why. There's a lot of theories about it.
He's.
I heard a really cool theory that I won't think it's kind of long, but like if you look at the shape of this, there's a popular theory that Chris's hand will get cut off at some point during the story. And there's a theory that like there's gonna be a time loop and that Chris's hand became a darkener and that like this is Chris's hand. Because if you look at it in a certain way, it's a hand. Ooh. Great.
But then why does it have like a pink and yellow eye?
Because it's Spamton. I don't know. Also, something yeah, I don't know. I'll have to find out maybe. But anyway, something interesting that someone pointed out is that Spamton has no original motifs. Like for years I've been humming like Spamton's theme and thinking it was like Spamton's theme, but all of his like songs and themes were taken from other characters like Mike and Tenna. So there's no Spamton theme. It's just all other themes that he stole, which is kind of interesting. Like that's such an odd choice, you know? It's like make us get really attached to this character's theme and stuff, and then for it not to even be his theme. It's interesting. Anyway, let's talk about this funny fellow. Judging from all the artwork and posts I've seen recently, I'm definitely not the only one to interpret all this information like this. For those that are unsure, here's some thoughts I had while searching around the internet for the potential lore of image_friend. Or friend, you know. Because that's what he's called in the files, is image_friend. At the beginning of chapter 3, revealed as to what Friend possibly looks like. An endogeny-like cat creature with what looks like feet, paws, that could possibly include tails. Did you, you played Undertale, right?
Yeah.
Do you know endogeny?
No.
There's a creature.
It's probably something I forgot.
Yeah, probably.
Hey.
It's kind of a throwaway thing, but in the true lab, there's this creature called endogeny.
If I see an image, I might remember.
Yeah, this thing.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Kind of creepy. Ooh, I just saw some cool fan art. Look at this. Ooh, it's cool. Ooh, cool. Anyway, but whenever people saw, Friend, they were like, oh, it looks like endogeny because it has like the little cats.
I think I also saw that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it reminded me of that, but I didn't like.
You know, it reminded me of that, but I didn't think it was very important. I just thought it was like, oh, it's kind of just a cool design that Toby wanted to use again.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. I think people like to read, and I personally, I mean, you heard my rant about this, but I think all the Undertale Deltarune connections are kind of silly. I don't think that the games are going to be like, they're one and the same, and it was all, I mean, it did say it was a parallel story, but I don't think it's going to all...
They will be connected, but I don't think it should be, like, required that they're connected.
Yeah, like if the game ends and it was all Undertale, I would be disappointed, because I like Deltarune more, and I think Deltarune just is better. That would be, yeah, it's like it ends and Flabby comes up and he's like, alright, so I made you play another game, haha, the end. Like, ugh. I'd be so mad. My, like, burning hatred for Flowey, I feel like came off as a little strong last time. I just want to let everyone know that Flowey is my favorite Undertale character. I just hate everything about him in terms of Deltarune. And that's it. I already went on that rant. I don't need
He's not your favorite Deltarune character.
No, he's my least favorite Deltarune character, but he's my favorite Undertale character. Yeah. Okay. The other appearances of Friend Smiles in the Queen's Basement. Yep. ERAM, Shadow Mantle Fight. Yep. You know all about that. The name of Queen's Basement theme, Shadow 2, is Digital Roots. And the third basement's area theme is the Mantle NES-style game is named Bit Roots. Did you know about that? And then this...
Yeah, I know the name of the song.
And there's also this called Roots, which was in Chapter 4, which is interesting. Okay, and then... Wait,
yeah, I saw that. I had no idea what was happening.
This is basically exactly what I just said. And there's this thing that this guy says where it's like, lost where the forest would grow, the children followed the pointed tail, the poor children, you know? Which is just creepy. Like, but whatever. He's probably going to talk about that, but that makes me think some certain things about image_friend. I'm unsure of where the next prophecy panel comes from, but it vaguely states they'll see the tail of Hell take crawl. Wait, you don't... It comes from... Okay, well, why don't you play the game and find it? Boom, get roasted. That was mean. This seems to connect with the previous statement said by the organic, where the children follow the pointed tail. If friend does have tails, then this could be referring to it. And does it mean it has some relation to the devil, or just purely bad intention? They may be referring to the lost children, and the verb crawl makes this described entity sound like a predatory creature, which could be as it looks like a giant cat. So do we think there's a theory that friend like lured the children to like the bunker, kind of like Pennywise in It, and that like Des fell in like I guess that friend took Des into the bunker, and that's how Des went missing. Which I guess could make sense, but like if there's a giant cat monster walking around hometown, I feel like there'd be more talk about it. Like I don't know. I guess cats are sneaky.
I don't know. I'm having trouble seeing how like he could be like a physical character that exists.
Right.
I don't know.
I feel like
it's more likely it's like a death situation. It's like hidden, but
yeah,
like,
definitely.
Maybe once existed, but not anymore.
Oh, true. Like, or like a Gasser thing where like, yeah, he's definitely an entity more than anything else. So the idea of him like walking around and doing things is kind of weird. Like I see a lot of like fan boss fights with him, and I'm like, I don't know. That feels weird. I don't think it'll just be like a random boss fight. I feel like there'd be more to him than that. Anyway. My theory is this: Roots is Friend's motif. I could link it to whatever I mentioned in Deltarune, where it can be seen in normal gameplay within Deltarune. If the prophecies in Chapter 4 relate to this, then Friend is probably the pointed tail that lured the lost children to somewhere dark, most likely either mischievous or dangerous intentions. If we're following this exact theory, then Friend probably lured the children to that little house or entrance spot between the trees or the little house. You mean the bunker? The shelter? The little house. No. Wait, what little house? Entrance spot between the trees or the forest, which could represent either explicitly as an old shed in the middle of the forest or figuratively the bunker that is seen within several trees. Yeah, there are... What? That's worded so weirdly.
What's the little house?
What's the little house? It's between the trees. I'm trying to... I know Hometown... Wait, there is a map of Hometown on one of these. Get out of here, Rudy. Where's the little house? Nope. I don't know. Maybe there's an imaginary little house over here.
It's so little that you can't see it.
It's so little you can't see it, and that's where Friend lives. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to make fun. I just think that's funny.
Wait, that makes sense. Maybe that's why we don't see Friend.
Oh, you're right.
So
but then how would it lure Des? It's like really tiny. Hey, follow me. Like I don't know. Or maybe you know what? Friend also. I wonder if Friend is like somehow the source of like the knight's power. I don't know where that came from. That was like a weird crack theory that I just came up with, but it's possible, you know. Is it possible?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think
I do not have authority to speak on that.
Yeah, you don't. I think I'm losing my mind a little bit. Okay. So much is I believe Friend has some relationship with themes of darkness, deception, and the lore behind the bunker. I'd like to discuss more about this theory, as it could support some unsolved mysteries of Chris's trauma, suppressed memories, December/Nessa's disappearance, or connections to other mysterious characters. There definitely is something going on with Chris's, like, have you seen the stuff about Chris's therapy?
No. I know that, like, Chris, like, they're probably, like, originally, like, you know, traumatized by something.
Yeah. Well, because there's like this, the Eggman, I'm Dr. Eggman. No, the Forgotten Man, like, talks about, like, in the fourth egg room in chapter 4, it's like a weird thing where, like, Chris is going to, like, therapy, and they, like, have this weird, weird interaction where they're, like drawing a picture, and, like, they get, like, really, like, traumatized by it. It's like a picture of something they can't describe, and then, like, they draw a tree over it. Like, it's so ambiguous and so weird, but, like, it all relates to the Eggman. So, like, people think that Eggman is Chris's therapist, and that the Eggman, like, I don't know, it's so bizarre. Like, I don't know how that could even link to anything, but, like, I don't know, whatever. Some people think that the Eggman is Gaster, which I know that I had a fun commenter who said that in my Green Gaster video. I respectfully don't think that the Eggman is Gaster, for a lot of reasons. Go watch Spooky Dude's video if you're interested, but yeah. Anyway, sorry. When I add new things and looking around, I come up with these theories. The only themes in the OST that have the word Roots in it are both in the Queen's basement and the Mantle Game basement. Most noticeable pattern is how Roots is always linked to some kind of basement. If the bunker in Hometown is some kind of basement, then would its theme upon entering it be simply called Roots, while also this new theme being Friends Leitmotif? That's a good idea. Like, when I think about like how the friend is always in like the darkest, deepest Roots area, you know, then like it would make sense for them for like the bunker. Oh, I never thought about that before. See, every now and then there's a little. It's like the car theory. It's like there's like one thing with the car theory where I was like, what the heck? Like that makes too much sense. Whatever. Anyway. Roots can be figuratively described as the origin or foundation of something, as literally trees cannot live and grow without the roots that connect for the soil for nutrients. If the prophecy in the secret egg room resembles the hometown bunker, then it could be the root of something big. Maybe the roots to the answer behind the disappearance of December, roots to the proof of physical evidence of Gaster's existence within Deltarune, or the roots to the heroes finding the way to stop the roaring from happening. Okay, this is getting kind of ambiguous, but I get what they're getting at. I like that idea. Just before Susie reaches the bunker at the end of Chapter 3, the bunker is smoke coming from an entrance very similar to Enter the Dark World, which could make for an interesting story direction or a secret, unexpected dark wood that the player could take in future chapters. Okay. I do think that the friend... If the friend is in the bunker, then... Is that not where Gaster is?
They're both in there.
Yeah. Wait, that comes to my whole... I have this thing where I think that friend is Gaster's pet, and that we're gonna approach him in the bunker, and he's gonna like turn around in the swivel chair and be like, I've been expecting you, and he'll be like petting the cat, and it's just friend. You know. But I do think that, like, honestly, like, people make Gaster out to be like the big antagonist. I think it's more likely that friend is the antagonist. But I also think it's interesting to think of friend as like Gaster's minion who like attracted the kids to the bunker way back in the day. That's what Chapter 0 could be. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff about I feel like friend is so ambiguous that like there's no way to really be able to make a good solid theory about him, because he's like, I saw someone say that friend could still be Mike. And at first I was like, oh, that's silly. Like, we already know who Mike is. But then I watched the video and I was like, no, that makes sense. Like, friend could be Mike. So I don't know. This guy eludes me. Anyway. They have one last one about Chapter 5. Which I already did a Chapter 5 episode, but this is more, it has a guess, so it's different.
Oh, there's plenty of Chapter 5 theories.
Oh, yeah.
Come in many shapes.
They really do, and this one could be interesting. Let's see. So first off, this has probably been discussed already, but I want to write down how I think Chapter 5 will go based on what we know. So in Chapter 4, we get some information from the prophecy as to what is to come next. Gerst mentions the vast garden is charred in an inferno of jealousy, and 2 windows in the same room mention the flower man trapped in an asylum, and they'll see the tail of hell take crawl. Blah, blah, blah. So obviously Asgore is going to be majorly important in Chapter 5. He's one of the few Lightners among the 9 heroes mentioned in the prophecy. Clearly, it's implied the next Dark World will be his flower shop, both the garden and the place of his asylum he's trapped in. He's also the character more fitting with both jealousy and, fire theme of the Dreamers. Well, I mean, yeah, that is true. I do like one of the first theories I read about, like, the Inferno being, like, something else. But yeah, that still makes sense. I could still see it being Asgore. This is nothing new, but I would like to add that Asgore will have a role of quasi-antagonist in Chapter 5. Okay, that's pretty common belief, I think. Do you think Asgore will be... If Asgore is evil, how do you think he'll be evil?
Well, I mean, I don't think he'll want to be evil to Chris, but I think he'll, like, do whatever is required if it comes to that. But
yeah.
I don't think he's gonna go, like, completely just go after, like, the fun gang all the time.
It's true.
But I think he'll get forced into doing a lot of things he doesn't want to do. But
I agree. But I think it's like by Carol in the night, like he's being manipulated a little bit. I also wonder if his devotion to finding deaths and like the night stuff is stronger than his devotion to wanting his family back and wanting Toriel back, you know? Like, I wonder if we'll see some conflict there. Like, maybe he'll, like, screw something up. Like, maybe, like, the Knight... It'd be cool if, like, the Knight... Like, he went against the Knight's wishes to, like, help his family. And that causes a lot of, like, drama, you know? I don't know. Could be interesting. might seem strange to him be an antagonist, but look at it from his perspective. His family fell apart because of an incident that cost him his job, and his new business is failing. He's living in a... Oh, he's doing the Spamton thing. He's living in a gosh dang flower shop. And in all of this, he's desperately trying to piece together what actually happened to get his family back, and that his wife seems to be moving on, and Undyne, who I assume he must care and feel responsible of as his old subordinate, disappeared. But why and how would the knight target Asgore? Well, the knight seems to be targeting Toriel for some reason. Blah, 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 blah. The knight could very well seek to use Asgore to lure Toriel in the Dark World and keep her there. Oh, excuse me, I'm falling apart. Or could be using Undyne as a hostage to get Asgore to do what it wants. Yeah, I definitely... Why would...
Yeah, I forgot, like, to think about how, like, how the knight was, like, trying to get Toriel. It could have something to do with...
Yeah, I always forget about that. I think
it's a bribe. They're like, I'll give you Toriel if you.
Oh, true. Oh, okay. That is. I never really. I always forget about that whole thing. They're like, oh yeah, Undyne's gone. Like I always forget about that. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know when that'll become a major plot point, but probably it will.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think that like if like the code on the bunker stuff, like Undyne probably has the police code, and since she's in the bunker, like she can't give it to us, so we can't open the bunker. My theory when the game first came out, I don't know how well it holds up now, but my theory was that basically like the roaring is going to happen at some point, and when like the roaring is happening, everyone's trying to escape into the bunker. Like since the knight took Undyne into the bunker, no one can open the bunker to like be safe from the roaring, and they all die basically. And like that's why the knight wanted to take all the people with the code so that no one could open the bunker and they'd all die because of the roaring. But even then it's like why like wouldn't they want, because isn't the bunker a dark world, so like why would that even matter? I don't know, whatever. The Tale of Hell is another interesting but less clear bit, since it seems to be associated with they'll hear the ring of heaven's call. Oh yeah, they'll hear the ring of heaven's call, they'll see the Tale of Hell take crawl. I never thought about that. They're like the opposite. Who might be referencing the chapter 4 boss, given its sound-based themes and angelic look. But that really hinges on what hell, heaven, and the angel are all in Deltarune, which is much less clear. Okay, so how about the chapter 5 go? The chapter will start... Okay, here we go. This is the actual theory. The chapter will start with the festival, in which it's not unlikely that Toriel will go with Sans, and Asgore will be there to witness. That would be amazing. Why would she do that? That could actually happen. That would be hilarious. After the festival, Asgore finds a way to lure Toriel to the flower shop, where the knight, after deceiving or threatening Asgore in his moment of weakness, will open the new dark fountain. Enter our heroes, who will have to make Asgore come to his senses. Why did I say scenes? And possibly fight the Tale of Hell. Well, why are we putting Friend into this? Like, does Friend have any links to chapter 5? I guess if we're going off the whole like chapter 5 is the last like major chapter thing, and it already alluded to, and if the prophecy only alludes to like the first few chapters, then I guess that the Tale of Hell appearing in chapter 5 could make sense. I just think it would be weird.
Yeah, I think for me, Friend isn't making much sense, but I think it just needs to develop more. I think most of it's ambiguous, and I just can't like.
Yeah, I think it would feel rushed if it immediately became a thing in like chapter 5, where it was like he's suddenly this big antagonist. You know, because like the common, like you gotta think of, like the casual audience would play it and wouldn't even really think twice about Friend. So I don't know.
Yeah,
all right,
like that's me. Like I barely like.
No. I honestly, yeah, because
I don't know how major it'll be.
I'm still on this crazy manhunt for Gaster, and a lot of people have expressed that like they kind of are getting bored of Gaster and are more interested in Friend now. But for me, I think that I will always want to find Gaster more than anything else. You know, like he is more important to me than Friend and Des and finding out who the knight is. I don't know. He's just so interesting.
Because like the Gaster hype has been going like since like even Undertale. So
yeah.
There's so much tension, like around like everything about Gaster.
That is true. If the payoff wasn't like worth it, or if that wasn't like one of the major things about this game, then it would probably be a little bit disappointing. I don't want to say that because I don't want the game to be disappointing, but it could be. You never know. Well, I also, like, it could be where, like, at the end of the game, like, you never get solid proof that Gaster was involved, but, like, those who know, and, like, those who know that this was Gaster understand more about the game, you know? I don't think, like, it might be a thing where he never comes out and says, like, I'm Gaster, You know, it might just be a thing where it's like if you understand the Gaster lore from Undertale, you'll understand the lore of Deltarune better, which would be fine. You know, like I really do want to meet him though, and he seems to really want to meet us. Did you see his before every chapter comes out, like Gaster takes over Twitter? Have you seen these tweets?
Yeah, I've heard of them. I haven't like gone and read them myself.
Yeah.
The all caps.
When like
Gaster character.
my siblings and I were all like gathered around my phone, like in like the few minutes leading up to Chapter 3 and 4 release. And we kept like refreshing the page, and every time a new tweet came up, we all like started screaming and jumping up and down. It was super fun. And he said, and like in that one, he was really like desperate. He was like, "How close we are now, our beautiful connection. Like you and me are like, I have a beautiful connection, and we're gonna make like a beautiful thing together." And I was like, "Gaster, are you hitting on me?" Like, there's something weird. Like he's like hitting on
He
us.
is obsessed with the player in
Yeah.
one way.
Like,
He wants like something like important from the player. So the player's definitely required for whatever he's doing.
yeah. I wonder if like he's had this experiment going of Deltarune, but like he's never had someone to actually like play it, and like that's why he loves us so much, because we're the ones like looking into his experiment, like trying it out. Yeah, he's a fun guy.
He's just a indie dev.
Yeah, he is. He's a creator. You know, he's a very, you know, passionate guy who just needs someone to show him some love. Which is funny because I feel like everyone loves Gaster, you know. Well, anyway, I think that's going to be the end of it. The end of this special episode. This is the Halloween episode, so I hope it was spooky enough for you. I thought it was pretty scary. I just realized I should have brought up some scary theories. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Gaster dies
that
theory.
isn't exactly scary, but some of like the theories can get more like maybe unsettling.
That is true. Yeah, unsettling. There's a lot of unsettling stuff in that game. Anyway, yeah.
Really horror.
Expect maybe for one of the episodes of No Hit Run, like for some of the chapters I haven't done yet, I'll have Nathan on and he can give me some hot tips, because you beat 3 and 4 and I still haven't completed the first board of chapter 3 because it sucks. But yeah, now that I don't have to like restart everything, because that was what was like breaking my brain and why I stopped doing it, because I had to restart every time and it was getting so annoying. So I'm glad I finally have the ability to not do that. But yeah, this was really interesting. I will say the Deltarune theory review videos are probably going to start slowing down now, because I've covered a lot of like the big ones, the big small ones I should say, and like until new ones come out, it's not going to be as fun to do because they're going to get more obscure and more strange, or just more like repetitive. So what I'm probably going to do is end up waiting a few weeks or maybe a month, see what new theories came out on the Reddit then, and we'll dive into those. And if there's a new huge discovery like the Green Gaster thing,
maybe you're able to like filter your search for like posts that are like recent, and maybe just like every once in a while like get like the most recent posts.
Yeah.
That have happened in between the last video.
That's probably what I'm going to do from now on, so that we don't get as repetitive, because there were a few things in there I was like, I already kind of covered this in my last videos, but yeah. Yeah, very interesting. So that is the state of Deltarune theory crafting right now. Hopefully it gets more interesting later. Hopefully there's something more like Green Gaster that comes out, but I'll see you guys next time. Say bye, Nathan.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.